We're preparing to stream live to YouTube as well. So keep arriving, taking your seat. We're preparing to stream live to, and welcome everyone. Good evening. So let's record this as well. So welcome everyone. Keep arriving, taking your seat around the fire in our storytelling series. This is the second one in the series of 5 or 6, I think, whatever we're doing. So welcome. I'm so excited to share what I've got to share with you today. 5 different stories that I've written for this spiral path of truth, the spiral walk that we're all doing. So welcome. Let's see who's here in the chat. Hello, Leslie Ann. I think you were first in the chat. I've been loving your stories. Thank you. Hi, Nancy from Minnesota. Hello from Maple City in America. Hi, Judy from Cambridge. Good to be here. Hi, Yvonne and Amy from Cheshire. Lovely to have you here again. Helen from the Channel Islands. Francesca. Hi, Francesca. Hi, Nancy from Minnesota. Hi, Sharon from North Carolina. Angelina, hello from Italy. Regina from St. John's in Newfoundland. Gorgeous in Canada. Love the last one. Thank you. And who do we have here? Rosie from Cork. Hi, Rosie. How are you doing? Carol from Toronto. Marianne from Bedfordshire. That's where my sister lives, in Bedfordshire, Biddenham. Hello, Mary from snowy frozen Michigan. Hi, Tracy. Early in the morning from Australia. Well, you get the top prize if there was a prize going up at the crack of dawn. I'd love to know how the weather is there. I'm so impressed. Hi, Alma from Vancouver Island. Erin from Washington, DC. Gorgeous. And when you're typing, select all panelists and attendees or everyone so that everyone can see your chat. So we're all here together. Gorgeous. And just as I was setting up here, I was just looking out and we have the most gorgeous crescent moon, that beautiful new moon, waxing moon. It's really gorgeous. It's just right outside the window here. And our snow is melting. You know, we've had a lot of snow. It's melting, turning to slush and ice now. So maybe that's our snow. Maybe that's our Scottish winter done. So yeah, thank you for being here. And shall we light our candle? I've actually already lit mine because I still haven't gotten new matches. So I'm going for the crystal look today. May it bring you crystal clarity, opening our space around the energetic fire and the gorgeous fire of this flame. Beautiful. And welcome Susan from Beria. Have I said that right? In Ohio. Tracy, you're in Melbourne. Oh, in lockdown for 5 days. Yeah. We're still in lockdown here in the UK. It's very strange, isn't it? It's like I haven't been outside of Falkirk for so long. And again, we can connect around the world. Wonderful. Okay, so if you brought a drink, cheers, wrap up warm or unwrap, whatever the weather is around you. And let's dive in because there's quite a few words to read here today. So you don't need to do anything, just sit back and relax. And I can see the numbers still going up. So when you're arriving, just pop your name and location in the chat. So it's nice to know who's here and to welcome you all. It's the long Irish hello, followed by the long Irish goodbye. Okay, so the first one, day 1 on this 21 weekday writing series. And the first one I wrote is called The Spirit of the Spiral. What better place to start? Hello, Gillian from Glasgow, welcome. Hi, John from Peterhead, welcome. Lovely to see you here. So, the spirit of the spiral. The stones are adorned and venerated with the ancient graffiti at the Newgrange monuments, Brú na Bóinne in Meath in Ireland. 5,500-year-old stories chiselled with great precision and patience by the human hands of our ancestors, permanently etched into the very fabric of these stones, a sacred symbolic script, leaving a long-lasting trail of clever clues of a time that once was, of a civilization that moved with the seasons, farmers, hunters, circle people, natives and newcomers welcomed, where Mother Earth was adorned as the life giver that she is, the nourisher that she is, living within her revered rhythms. Fire tenders and keepers, storytellers and weavers, crafters, chiselers, poets and reapers, witches and wise ones, so grounded and connected to the all. The stones that make up these gorgeous monuments are perfectly placed and positioned to honour the changing seasons, to honour Mother Earth and the cosmos, in celebration of the cycles of life, of death, and of rebirth in those gorgeous spirals. Their womb tomb forms built by these ancient architects with great care to last. The spiral motive adorns my pages in the forms of doodles. Pen to paper, I scribble with a mild obsession. Spirals fill the pages and margins of each and every notebook that I own. Single spirals, double spirals, or if I'm feeling adventurous, triple spirals. Pages infused with ancient pre-Celtic and Celtic symbology, brought to life once again through these doodles. The ancients are speaking to me and through me, wanting to share their ancient wisdom for these modern times. The stones, they're the story keepers. Their script is symbology. This sacred symbolic script speaks through the mystical spirit of the spiral. The spiral path beckons of people and place and of purpose, unraveling with each and every step that we take along this path. And that was the spirit of the spiral. Thank you for listening. So it'd be lovely to know who else has this mild doodling obsession of spirals on a page. Sometimes it's love hearts, sometimes triangles, just all different kinds of shapes and sizes. Hi Niamh from Meath in Ireland. So I wonder how far from Newgrange are you? And you can make me very jealous. I can't wait to get back there. Francesca, you do have the same obsession with spirals and triangles. Isn't it amazing? Thank you for sharing your writing, Helen. You're welcome. Love that emoji as well. Wonderful. Yeah, it's one thing to write it, and then it's another thing to share it with all of you. So, a second piece of writing for our storytelling around the fire is called The Route to Rerouting. The Route to Rerouting. I'm a traveller. It's in my cosmology as a Sagittarian as well as in my DNA. I really love the thrill of exploration, to see the world, visiting newness, to smell the smells, meet the people, see the sights, and drink in the sensory sweetness of a new experiences to nourish my soul. That feeling of tingly excitement landing somewhere new brings with it the potential and possibility, the freedom to explore. When myself and my now husband returned from our year-long around the world backpacking trip, that was in 99, 2000, it took me so long to settle back in, to reroute back home. So I decided it was time to leave Ireland for, well, a year or so to see how it goes, as I said at the time, and to pack up and settle into a new life over the Irish Sea to Scotland, joining my now husband. It was just so easy to do back then, it felt. We had ticked the backpacking box, so we could now get on with the rest of our lives, right? So I accepted a corporate position in Scotland's beautiful capital, Edinburgh. Back to reality with a great big thud. Into a job, well paying, 9 till close of business, whatever they would be every day, with opportunities to learn and rise up the ladder. I remember going online, looking on the Lonely Planet website at lunchtimes and drooling over the gorgeous articles and vibrant pictures, feeling the yearning to be free to see the world once again. Itineraries so accessible with a few clicks of a button. But alas, now I was in the corporate structure with a holiday allocation and responsibilities a growing. Wings clipped, freedom controlled to a degree, and a life of rules, of corporate tone of voice, high heels and appraisals. I didn't always wear high heels, by the way. Working with wonderful people, of course, as always. And with the many twists and turns along the spiral, with the many highs and lows, surprises and shocks, my route to rerouting lay not in the socially accepted and expected structured path of rising success up a hierarchy. No. My route to rerouting lay in the kicking off of my high-heeled shoes, shedding my stripy shirts. My route to rerouting lay in the careful placing of my feet upon the earth, soles to soil, hands to earth, rooting into a new place on the spiral path that continues to call me home. I feel the spiral path is calling all aspects of us home, to integrate any lost parts of ourselves as we weave ourselves back to wholeness, to reconnect with our roots once again, and that place within that remembers what home is, especially now when so many of us can't travel and are in lockdown around the world. So 21 years on, I'm still here in Scotland. We moved out of Edinburgh 16 years ago to a house here in Falkirk, near the woods. And our ancestors, they wrap their arms of ancestral love around us, sweetly singing, "Welcome home." So that is the route to rerouting and story number 2. Yeah, often I come up with the name once I've written the blog, then the name kind of emerges. Oh, Niamh, you're so lucky to live close to the Hill of Tara, closer to the Hill of Tara than Newgrange, but really love to visit both. Oh, that's so gorgeous, such a gorgeous part of the world. Route to rerouting, love this. Sharon, yay, bravo. Helena also fascinated by spirals, but never been to Newgrange, quite far from Leksand in Sweden. Yeah, another gorgeous part of the world. Mary, coming to listen reminds me of coming in after lunch in grade school to listen to the teacher read a few chapters of whatever book she chose to read, the anticipation. I love that, yeah. Just sitting around and listening, there's something just so nourishing and releasing. You don't have to do anything, just listen and notice what you take from the story. Leslie Ann's so hard to settle down after traveling, yeah. And I'm not sure I really ever did, in that structure anyway. Nancy, thank you for your thoughts. Oh, COVID clipped my wings to return to my roots of Scotland and Ireland. Still waiting to return. Yeah, I can feel that. Yes, and hopefully we'll open up soon and we can travel home again. Helena, souls to soil. Yeah, I like that too. Thank you. Gillian, love this. I can relate to fellow Sagittarian. Love to travel. Yeah, gorgeous. So nice to chat to you all. I love that we have 33 people here as well, live on Zoom. And I can't see I can see 4 watching live on YouTube. So welcome on YouTube as well. Okay, story number 3. Need a drink for this one. This one is called Final Resting Place. I played about with a few names for this one, but this is the name that I rested on. So my father's final resting place lies in the Dublin mountains, on the Dublin-Wicklow threshold, and the graveyard sits proudly in what was once a big grassy field, and it rises up from the windy country road as you drive by. So when you park up and you step inside the graveyard gates, you're facing the rounded heathery mountains. Turning around, you're greeted with this sweeping panoramic views out over Dublin city and all the way to the Irish Sea. It's really beautiful on a clear day and very peaceful. My father claimed one of the early plots within this graveyard, just a few rows in, and I'm always so amazed by how much the graveyard has grown and filled up every time I return. Rows upon rows, heading towards the Dublin mountains actually, all the way back, of plots adorned with grass and flowers, headstones with names and dates, locations scribed into them, of a person who once lived, now in their final resting place. It's always felt a little bit awkward to me to stand by my dad's grave, or anybody's grave for that matter, and to pay my respects, bowing my head piously in silence, standing, composing myself over a body that's most likely decomposing, to speak sweet prayers of melancholy for the vibrant person that he once was. But the graveyard where he rests, it's called Mount Venus, and my rising sign is Libra, which is watched over by Venus, the planet powered on love and beauty. And I really love this cosmic connection of our intertwining spirals. A full stop on his human spiral, yet the spirit of his spiral lives on through my spiral in my continued walk with love, with beauty and aliveness all along my spiral path. So I remember his spirit in these words and in my spiral with love. Le Gras. And that is final resting place. And I never know when I start writing where exactly it will lead. So that was an interesting one. Regina, I love Newgrange. Yes. The Hill of Tara. Oh, your cat is Tara, is sitting with me. I've always been drawn to spirals. That's gorgeous. I love the name Tara as well. And hello to your cat, Tara, too. Elizabeth, yes, this is how I feel. My wings have been clipped. I'm ready to travel, but still cannot. Yeah, thanks for another brilliant afternoon. You're so welcome. And it's why really I wanted to do these live and to share these stories as well, that we can travel in our minds, in our imaginations, in our spirit, finding other ways to travel and connect and experience the world. Leslie Ann, beautiful resting place with gorgeous views for the soul to fly. Yes, and so many resting places are in such beautiful locations, aren't they? Okay, story number 4. We're flying through them. So this one is called A Stranger to Femininity. When our first daughter was born, I was so adamant that she would not be the stereotypical girly girl, in inverted commas, of expectations within the society that we live, adorned in pink frilly sparkles. I remember we painted her room a sunshine yellow and dressed her in gender-neutral clothes. But pink has made its way into her wardrobe, very much so, and her dark hair has lengthened into soft curls. As she grew up, her own unique, natural nature continued to unfurl. So I remind her often that she's like a flower, to me anyway, a beautiful pink rose, sweetly scented and inviting. And like the rose, she flourishes and blooms when she's nurtured and watered. And like the rose, she withers and shrinks with unkind words or harshness. It's in her gentleness, her kindness, her beauty, that she reminds me of mine. It's in her empathetic nature that she reminds me to access mine. It's in her deep intuition and creative intelligence that she reminds me to connect with mine. It's in her joy and her bubbliness that she cajoles me home to mine. In my disdain and arrogance of how I wanted our daughter to be, she helped lift the veil off those parts of myself that lay hidden and estranged within me. Those dormant parts that were strangers to me within the dominant structures of my time. The crystals I gift to her hum their melodies of remembrance back to her, weaving the web of life anew along our family line. It's in her very femininity that I now walk the sparkly spiral path home to mine, sprinkled in sparkles of gorgeous, vibrant colours and pinkness as well. I enjoyed reading that one. Gorgeous. So there you are. Femininity. Right, number 5. This one is very fresh off the block. Oh, thank you for your lovely, lovely words. Beautiful, wonderful words of elegance. Yeah. Touching. So great to hear them. Thank you. Oh, Helen, yeah, my daughter introduced me to my feminist too. Gorgeous, magic. Gillian, lovely. What does she think of the story? She hasn't read all the words, but I told her that I was writing about her being, reminding me to be feminine and a rose. And she kind of laughed and rolled her eyes. So, yeah, I'll have to share it with her, won't I? They sure do surprise us. Shivers when you read she lifts the veil. Yeah. Yeah, I just love how this word magic comes together. Femininity, yeah, spellbinding. Thank you. We are witches crafting our spells, binding us together. Okay, final one. Yeah, this is fresh off the block. I just finished it about 2 hours ago. And I was kind of slow to get started writing this. But once I got into it, it flowed like it usually does. So this one is called Woman of the Woods. Who are my ancestors? Giant trees and nature beings, forests, woods, rivers and streams, air, earth, fire and water, elemental foundations, fundamental to life. A life from which I had wandered so far away, severed from the spiral of my truth. Until that day when I returned, I had to. They called me forth. Those people of the land, grounded and rooted in ancient traditions, wholesome and truthful, weaving, sewing, storytelling, joking, ploughing the fields and unearthing truths, healers on their spiral. As I wander the woods, I connect with them, all of them, weaving their stories through new golden threads, where one moment I'm laughing with Larch as she lollops languidly across my path, and the next I'm feeling the prickles and the tickles of jolly red-berried holly. Great oak, I exclaim, oh, how I soak up your wisdom. And Scots pine, you are mighty fine, and you smell divine, by the way. Ah, that smell of pine. I've had so many encounters over the years with nature, with animals. In the woods is where I connect with my truth as woman of the woods, nourishing my roots as I continue to flourish. With the many identities I live by, wife, sister, daughter, ... so many more, human mama, nature mama, and recently a fur mama with our puppy. But when I wander the woods, I'm just me, wrapped up in nature and connected on this spiral path of place to home. And that is Woman of the Woods. Oh, thank you, Francesca, my favorite so far. I feel so connected to your sensibility for the woods and nature. It really is very close to mine. Thank you so much. Yeah. And again, writing that, I had so many ideas of where that was going to go, that this is where the words wanted to go and where they took me. Yeah, home is nature and nature is home, isn't it? Gorgeous. And I love bringing it to life through feeling like I'm there when I'm writing these words. Thank you all so much. So they are our 5 stories from this week. So that is what I've got to share with you. So yeah, does anyone have any questions you'd like to share in our final few moments together? Oh, Nancy, your poetry inspires me to give birth to my own. Gorgeous. Yeah. Really gorgeous. And Helen says gorgeous as well. Yeah. Thank you for being seen. And I fully believe, you might have heard me say this before, that the way, the future is art. I really feel that our creativity is birthing through us and through so many ways of being, new ways of being. Ooh, Francesca, it would be great to have an online witchy writing and reading circle. I love the sound of that. Oh, Susan, incredibly, beautifully brilliant writings. Thank you. That was gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your beautiful writings. You're so welcome. And it's, as I said, it's interesting reading them out, especially some of the tongue twisters that I write as well. Yes, well, thank you, everyone, for being here live on Zoom and live on YouTube as well. We are wrapping the earth with these words with people from most of the continents around the world. Yeah, so let's see what tomorrow brings. And I'm taking note of all the things you're messaging me with to write about. So yeah, when the time is right, the words will emerge. Helen, thank you. You're reintroducing me to storytelling again. Yeah, such a powerful way to share our message, you know, in a non-confrontational way, a very powerful way, so evocative. Really feel like I'm transported to the places mentioned. Gorgeous. Sarah, thank you. John, just thank you. Yeah, thank you too for being here. Tracy, as the sun comes up, your stories greet the day here in Australia. Oh, thank you so much. With the moon rising here and the sun rising where you are, that just completes the day. Thank you, everyone. Sharon, I've been musing about the speaking of your stories. Yes, reading about how Irish poetry pays great attention to the sound of the words. Ah, yeah. I always write with the sound in mind, but with your stories, your voice plays a part too. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, the poet does play such a big part in Ireland. Our president, Michael D. Higgins, he's a poet and a native fluent Irish speaker as well. And it's like he casts a spell of magic when he speaks, really poetically. Ah, gorgeous. Well, yes, let's say our goodbyes until we meet again next week. And just thank you all for being here. Thank you on YouTube for being here.